Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Connie Bomber. Let's see. Mary H., thank you so much for being here first. Let me see. What did I do with that? Okay. All right. How can I be sure in a world that's constantly changing? How can I be sure whenever I, whenever I'm away from you? Okay, this is what I'm looking for. I got the nicest card all the way from Switzerland. Let me see. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? It was selected by Connie Palmer herself. It is beautiful, right? I love it. Thank you so much, Connie Palmer. And thank you for my wonderful gifts. I am going to thoroughly enjoy that. I've already decided which one is going to be for my smoothies. So thank you very much. And of course, where is it at? There we go. All right. Now that's isn't that beautiful? I love that. It is like a work of art. It is a work of art. Perfection. All right. Um, all right. I'm just opening up another screen so I can see what you all are seeing. Do you see what I see? Okay. All right. Now I got it now. Okay. Let me get back over here. Right? It's a beautiful card. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. A million thank yous. And to know that it has traveled so far, that just really warms my heart. I was grinning from ear to ear. Y'all know I love surprises. All right. I am repurposing this thumbnail. I liked it so much the first time, I decided to use it again. So, yeah, that is a repurposed thumbnail. Hey, Joan Garcia, Ania, Jacqueline Rippey, Compton Caligal, Lydia Washington. Okay, and everyone else, thank you so much for being here. So, I almost used this one again, but I said no, I just used that. So, I love this one too. Yeah, that one is fun. So, this is what the Duchess of Sussex posted today. As ever official, she posted, "How do you define your chapter of joy? Tag us and let us know." So if you all are on the Instagram and you want to define your chapter of joy, or if you have defined it and you want to share that with the Duchess of Sussex, well, like she said, tag us and let us know. So that means you're going to post it, I guess, on your Instagram, and you'll tag it to um, as ever official. Yeah, the official as ever. And hopefully our Duchess will take notice of it. And speaking of which, um, this is the picture up close. You can see the full screen of it. And these are posts from some of the squatties who tagged the as ever. And Meghan actually saw those herself and she decided to share them with everyone. So the next few days, I know we're going to see more and more of them. So those are people just like you, just like me, who have received your as ever purchases, and Meghan shared them on her Instagram. Here's another few. Someone is excited by flower sprinkles. It took me a minute to try to figure out which end of that photo was actually the dog. But yeah, he's got his nose right up to the bottom of the can. And then, of course, let me see. I can't wait to make crepes. And then take a look on the right. You can see that the flower sprinkles and the honey are going to accompany. Oh, actually, I see they've already put the flower sprinkles in. Elevate your yogurt bowl with some flowers and sprinkles. You know what, guys? I am going to go back to my yogurt and fiber cereal. I used to eat that all the time. I tell you, it gives you so much energy to start your day. Um, if you want to have something healthy to start your day, yogurt, some brand or fiber cereal, sorry, and some fruit. It's everything you need. And it also goes great with a cup of coffee. I always drink mine plain. I don't add any sugar or cream to it because I think if you're eating something sweet and then you drink something sweet, doesn't that like balance take it balances out, right? And then you just what are you tasting at that point? So I always thought that was a weird combination. So generally, I drink my coffee black if I have something sweet with it. Yeah, that's a good breakfast. That is a good breakfast. And the only yogurt I like comes from Aldi's. I have tried yogurt from every shop I could think of, and it just didn't have that same consistency. I like to get the what is that, like a quart of the vanilla, and I get the plain, and then I actually mix the two of them because I think that the vanilla is just and it's I think it's sugar free vanilla. Anyway, it's too intense for my taste. I think it's just a little too sweet. So um, I mix the plain and the vanilla in that big quart size or whatever size that is. But yeah, great breakfast, great day in the morning. So elevate your yogurt bowl with some flour sprinkles. Okay. Ah, end of an era. My birthday twin, my birthday twin, is leaving her post. I cannot believe it. After 37 years, she's stepping down as the editor of Vogue. Ah, what are we going to do now? I tell you, I know that there are some people who just cannot stand the sight of Anna Wintour. I am actually a huge fan, mostly because the Devil Wears Prada, and also because we're birthday twins. Yes, there are some very interesting people that were born on the 3rd of November, like Charles Bronson, Dolph Lundgren, one of the Lionels from the Jeffersons. Um, what's her name? Is it Kylie Jenner? Kylie Jenner. Um, Singer Adam Ant. Singer Lulu. Those schoolgirl days of telling tales and biting nails are gone. To serve with love. Boom, 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 boom. Let me see who else is the third. Oh my God, some crazy people. Dennis Miller and Roseanne Barr, two people I cannot stand. Both comedians. What is this about comedians and the 3rd of November? I don't know. And you remember Dolph Lundgren, that huge Viking-like person that played in the Rocky movie, was dating Grace Jones. Anyway, oh yes, and Michael Dukakis, Governor Dukakis. Just weird. It's an eclectic group of people that were born on the 3rd. Well, I tell you, so Anna Wintour stepping down as Vogue U.S. editor-in-chief after 37 years. She is not leaving Condé Nast. It is one of the best jobs you could possibly have, only because, well, not just only, I mean, she's also made it a great job, but she has a clothing allowance. I think it's like $200,000 a year or something like that. They send one of those limousines for her to take her to work every morning and that kind of stuff. But anyway, she's going to stay at Condé Nast. So she's going to be looking, yeah, she's going to like have something to do with the whole global outreach of all of their Condé Nast products. So she's not quitting. She's just leaving the magazine, but she'll still be part of Condé Nast, the group that owns the publishing rights to several magazines. Yes, and she's a dame now, right? Yes, she is Dame Anna Wintour. And of course, The Devil Wears Prada, one of the best movies ever. If you have not seen it, it really is a great movie. Meryl Streep. I'm going to say that it was an Oscar-worthy performance, but it was kind of a quirky movie, not necessarily one that would get noticed. But I think the big problem for Meryl Streep is that she is consistently brilliant in every part that she plays. I'm telling you, this might be a stretch, but if Meryl Streep played Harriet Tubman, she would be more believable than quite a few actors or actresses that I know, because she's just, I don't know, she becomes the character. Of course, I'm exaggerating when I say that, but she is amazing. And she's so consistently good with everything. It's no wonder that a lot of her best performances, they don't even get nominated. It's like Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep. They're so good at everything they do. They're brilliant. And it's like you get the fatigue of them doing yet another great job. Marsha's Anna was brilliant in stepping down after the most record-breaking historic fundraiser of 31 million with the Superfine tailoring black style, the dandy fashion category, its legacy. Well, you know what? I think she's going to stay on with the Met Gala. I don't think that that's going to change. So I don't see why it would. As a matter of fact, if you know the history of the Met Gala, Deanna Vreeland, I believe she was the one who put the Costume Institute, which is part of the Metropolitan Museum of Art. She's the one that put it on the map. And Deanna Vreeland took over the Costume Institute only after she was fired from the Vogue magazine. So after Deanna Vreeland died, I guess the likely person to take it over was Anna Wintour. I don't know if she was nominated for that and selected, or how that happened. But anyway, she is so associated with the um, Costume Institute that they named the wing the Anna Wintour Costume Institute wing, or whatever the name is, but her name's on it. So I don't think that that's going to change. And by the way, if you guys are interested in seeing the exhibit that was created for the 2025 Met Gala, it is available until October, but you got to go to New York to see it. But it is available until October. So, again, if you're interested in seeing the exhibit that goes with that Met Gala this year, you got to go to the Metropolitan Museum. And I hear it's huge. You could spend the whole day there and come back the next day and still not see everything. So yeah, that is what happened today. I was shocked. But 37 years, go out while you're on top. Don't wait until, they have to carry you out. That's never a good look. Meryl Streep actually, as you can see there, went to her office and they sat down, and I don't know who was interviewing whom, but they had a chat together, and that was a lot of fun. But yeah, that was a great movie. And this is the very first Vogue cover, November issue. I forgot what year that was, but anyway, this was Anna Wintour's first cover. And as you can see, this is what was so brilliant about Anna Wintour. She has like $20 jeans on, just some plain, whatever jeans. Well, I'm sure they, were nice. And then she has on this like couture top, or anyway, it's from some designer, but matching the very expensive top with some jeans that you can buy from wherever. And this was what signaled the change in Vogue magazine. This is how things changed. And when people saw this, they were very upset. But Anna Wintour knew that things were changing, and that these influencers, well, first it started with the the pop icons, the I guess hip hop and such, and then the influencers. But before that, it was rare that you would see anybody but a model on the cover. But now it's more celebrities on the cover, and it makes sense. It really does, because if you sing, you're probably going to act at some point, which of course they've been doing that since forever. But also, you're going to have a perfume line. You're going to go into makeup. You're going to have a clothing line. You are going to have all kind of stuff, shoes, whatever it is, handbags. You're going to do something else. And so all of that like collides on the pages of Vogue and just about every other magazine. So that was brilliant to see that coming and to embrace it. I mean, streetwear. She really did embrace streetwear before anybody else. Okay, the Ministry of Propaganda. The Ministry of Propaganda. What does that mean? That means that they just threw up a paywall. For us in the United States, if you want to go to the BBC, I guess it's for the website or the news or whatever. Maybe they have a news channel or something, or news on their website. Whatever it is, you are going to have to encounter a paywall. So if you are one of those routine users of the BBC, just know that next time you try to go on to their site, you may have to pay for the privilege. I would think that they would lose people, right? But as you notice, the Daily Fail, at first it was just a handful of stories that required you to get a subscription. Now there are like most of the stories, if not half of them at least, they expect you to have a subscription. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that's not going to happen. I'll just depend on some of the squatties who share things on Twitter, some of the trusted squatties, but there's no way I would get a subscription. Not for that garbage. That would be like buying a newspaper after they already wrapped a fish up in it. You know what I'm saying? Who would do that? So, yeah, that's not going to happen. It's like buying yesterday's paper or a week old newspaper. Why would I do that? But yeah, so that is what happened, is that now if you want to go to the BBC Ministry of Propaganda, then you're going to have to pay for the privilege if you're from the US. What's that? John Garcia says the BBC has a cable channel. I don't need them enough to pay for their channel. Yeah, I mean, the news is everywhere. I would trust the BBC sooner than I would trust a lot of the services that's out there. I've always thought that they've had some great reporting, but they do have a soft spot when it comes to that institution. And also, there are many times when they will sing from the same hymn book when it comes to things like Gaza. They don't give people a break. They use the same talking points that that Fox News would use on occasion. So, yeah, I don't think they're completely fair either. And I don't like that they take too many instructions from the palace. That's never a good thing. So I do have a soundbite for you. Let me grab this. And it has to do with the topic that we've been discussing a couple of days. I'm not going to do a whole lot of Kate, not today, but we'll do a bit just the same. But yeah, that topic is getting a bit exhausting for the time being, but when necessary, I will pick it up again. But I think a lot of the yeah, for the most part, it's kind of like died down a bit. But anyway, let me get this queued up for you. I watched a great interview with Cher last night. I think it was from CBS Sunday Morning. Do you guys know that Sonny Bono had her sign a contract when she was just a kid? And the contract entitled him to 95% of the business. And their manager, I guess, or whatever this guy was, he got 5%. Cher pretty much got nothing. And she was like, "Why did you do that?" He said, "Well, I knew you would leave me someday." Uh-huh. But why did you do that? Oh, let me see. Thank you so much. I don't want to say the name, but thank you so much for the Cash App, RA. Thank you very much for that. Greatly appreciate it. All right. So let me cue that up. But yeah, Cher is honest to a fault. She just tells it like it is. And they still had somewhat of a great friendship, even though that happened. Okay, here we go.
The media are now using to describe Kate, right? So first it was she is recalibrating her life work balance. She doesn't show up for events. She is still finding her balance, right? The forensic scrutiny of the public eye on her has taken a toll. And I just saw this on in Business Time online, where it says Buckingham Palace drafted in operational release in the event of her passing. Like, I was like, what are you doing? Like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh God, do not Diana her. Like, yeah, Kate's got her flaws. She's a mean girl, but we don't know what's going on behind closed door. Well, we kind of have an idea. Like anybody married to Eggplant, it is to be expected that their lives, would be a misery. So, but still, like, she's a human being. I'm like, why are you telling all this? Like, why do that?
And by the way, this young lady, she's on TikTok and she is brilliant. You can find her at, I believe that is it LJL underscore Lewis? Louise? Louise. Anyway, that's the TikTok right there. So I just kind of caught on to her in the last week, and yeah, she has some very interesting talking points. But you guys, one thing I'm going to say before we talk about, everything that she just mentioned is that the humanity of the Sussex squad, I can guarantee you that the monarchists are not worried about Kate. I can guarantee you that the Sussex haters, the derangers, they're not worried about Kate. I don't think anybody worried about Kate more than the Sussex squad. That's because we don't have that kind of hate in our hearts. We don't come up with ridiculous conspiracies. We simply discuss the topic that is there. Based on the history of that family, that's how we come to the conclusions. The weight of that history is pretty heavy. But just like she just said, she's a human being. Yeah, she's a mean girl, but you don't want her in a tunnel in Paris. That I would feel horrible if something happened to her. And I generally I have a bit of sympathy for her, just because a lot of her character is really shaped by entitlement and just general ignorance. I don't think that she has much of a worldview, and I think she has been raised by some very shallow people, right? I don't think that there's any level of character building that was part of her upbringing. It's just go and find somebody rich and marry that person. That seems to be the only requirement. You do that, and we'll take care of the rest. So if her character seems a bit hollow, it's for some very good reasons, and that is the lack of expectations for them to be anything more than that. There's no place in that family history where you've ever heard of them doing anything for the community. Not a thing. Because trust me, if it was there, we would have heard about it by now. They would have used that to try to build them up as these somewhat aristocratic, thoughtful people, but that does not exist. So we know it's probably not true. But yeah, I think as a family, I think they're probably some of the most selfish individuals that you would ever want to meet. Shallow, superficial, and selfish. Oh my goodness. Mercy me, oh my. Hey, Sussex family. It's George on Lady Sussex account. Charles and I are very sad to let you know that the Lady Sussex mother passed. Oh my goodness. This afternoon. Oh, oh, thank you for sharing that with us. Oh, wow, that just goes right through me. Oh my goodness. Oh, please let her know that her Sussex Squad family, just let her know we're always with her. We're always with her. It's been so many times, I tell you, that I think about her up late at night, um, caring for her mom, and I'm just like, I'm just saying to myself, we're with you, we're with you. And I was like really glad that all of us could, be with her, keeping her company, um, whatever it was that we could do. I'm glad we could do it. Oh man. Oh my goodness. I'm so sad to hear that, but thank you so much for sharing that. Oh my. Yeah. Well, I tell you guys, I will put a card up for her on the community tab, and I may even do that tonight, so that you guys can share some words for her. And again, thank you for letting us know. Oh, let me see. Thank you, Lydia. I will put that on the top of the uh, chat. Okay. And thank you, everyone that kept the Lady Sussex and her mom on your prayer list. Thank you so much for doing that. Okay, let me see here. Thank you again, George. Oh my goodness, that was that was quite a shock. All right, thank you so much for that. Thank you, Marshar. Thank you so much, Marin and family. Your support and love is so appreciated. It's been a very difficult past couple of weeks. Oh, I could imagine. I could imagine. Yeah. I thought, I well anytime if I see that you guys aren't on Sunday, I'm like, gosh, I hope everything's okay. But yeah, thank you all for your kind words. Okay. And again, you guys, there is a link. You know what? I'm going to go over there and see, just by chance, if there's anything on the community post there. And well, so far it is not, but okay. But if you want to go over there, I would say go to the community post, and let me get the link for her community post. So if you want to leave something there, and and whenever she has a chance to see it, then she'll see it. And what's interesting is that I just downloaded an image that I know that I'll use for the card. Just by chance, I downloaded it, I think last night, or was it today? And I'm like, I'll probably use that at some point. Okay, let me do this so that all right, and I'll put that at the top of the chat. Okay, there it's at the top of the chat. So that is the most recent post from the Lady Sussex, and that was 2 weeks ago. So yeah, so yeah, she did not leave a comment or anything on her community post, but just if you want to put something over there, you can. But if you guys want to wait until I make a card, I'll do that either tonight or first thing tomorrow. Oh man. Okay. I see Diana Hawkins says, I have no sympathy for Karen or any of those other royal family people. The married in, is that, how do you say that? Oh, okay. Okay, I think I I think I know what that means. Uh we're an aristocratic, and instead of uh was that hopping on the hate train against Duchess Meghan, they should have supported. So forget them. Yeah, I understand. I trust me, I understand. Um, oh, great. Thank you. I will put a post up. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. So again, you guys, you can use the link at the top of the chat, and that will take you. Actually, I'll get the new post, and I'll swap this one out for that one. Okay. I'll just take this down for now, and I'll swap it later, and I'll add the other one later. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Well, you guys, you know what? This community, I tell you, if you're new to the Sussex Squad, you probably have already figured out that this community is more than just, oh, what Harry and Meghan is doing. It has, become a part of every day for some people, or once in a while for other people. But whatever the case may be, um, the I guess is you could say it's a very spiritual connection for some, or whatever you would describe it for yourself, or however you describe it. It's more than just these content creators and Harry and Meghan. It's gone beyond that, and that is an amazing thing. So thank you all for continuing to be so thoughtful and considerate. Okay. All right, I'm going to go to the next slide. Oh, well, if oh, well, I see Michael Bloomberg, right? And I see William the Terrible. And who is that with the incredible need for a haircut? I tell you, Jason is starting to look just as greasy as a pork chop. He is turning into a big, greasy pork chop. As slick as hound crap. There is something so sinister about that individual. There's nothing wrong with being ambitious. Somehow he went from Texas to was it New Zealand or Australia? I think it was New Zealand, right? To New Zealand for college. At some other point, he worked for was it the Royal Bank of Scotland? But he's found himself in some very powerful circles. And given his character, he is probably the perfect person to go into the palace with the new king, King William, the Terrible. But then it also sets a tone for William's reign. It already sets a tone. You can see that it already comes from a very, very dark place, a very sinister, calculated place. I'm choosing my words carefully. Nothing good can come of this. Absolutely nothing. I don't know what he is to William, but I see William seems to have a look of bliss in his eyes that you rarely see, especially when he's with his wife. Bliss, sublime. Again, whatever they are to each other, this is definitely the continuation of something foul. This is the person that he had given the signal to go after Meghan. I have no doubt about that. So he came up with clever things like bullying. Yeah. I'll say that she had bullied the staff. That is based on some email of concern. But the thing is, the staff at the Kensington Palace, when both houses were together, the Sussexes and the Cambridges, there seemed to be a great opportunity for conflict, and that every staff person there really answers to William. I don't care if they are supposed. How many times have we seen that Jason Knopf was there for Harry and Meghan? He was their communications person. And then even in the same article, it would say that he's also working with Will and Kate. And the same with Christian Jones. He was supposed to be there for Harry and Meghan, but in the same article, he was also there for Will and Kate. I can see why the secretary that Harry had, up until the wedding, up until I forget which date, but I could see why he left. Was his name Fox or something like that? I could see why he left because he didn't want to get up in the middle of all of this because there really was a no-win situation. And when I look at that smug look on William's face, I it just something goes through me. Something goes right through me when I think of the the evil, the evil that has been created between the two of them. Just evil. There's no other word for it but evil. Not wrongdoing, not misdeed, but just evil. Jason is there for a reason. He's there for a reason. He didn't go into politics in the US. He goes over to Britain and goes into politics. In this public forum, I won't even say what I think he's what I think he really is. I won't even say that. I couldn't. It wouldn't be wise. But he's there for a reason. And if you know, you know. He is there for a reason. Oh well. And there's William sandwiched in between a multi-billionaire and the ultimate opportunist. Fixer? Yeah, definitely that. Definitely that. There's a complete lack of integrity. I mean, William awarded this man for all of the terrible things that was done to Harry and Meghan. He was rewarded. He was given a reward. Muriel, who I follow on Twitter, always goes back and finds some interesting things, some of which could help explain a lot if you know what to look for. What if Prince William were gay? Renee Martin asked that question back in 2011. And then there's a Vogue article here. Prince William becomes the first royal to appear on the cover of a gay magazine. Nothing wrong with that. He makes history. I applaud his, him doing that. And then, of course, Prince William. I'd support my child if they were gay. Well, I think every parent should. But particularly for my family in the position that we are in, that's a bit I'm nervous about. You are? Okay. William has said he would fully support his children if they were gay, but admitted he would worry about the added pressure they would face. A good answer. And lastly, from Muriel, there is Prince William dines at a gay restaurant on surprise Poland trip. Now, we're just sharing this because this is Pride Month, and why not? None of this is anything in particular. But it did allow us to know one thing. William in Poland ordered a pulled pork sandwich, which for us has well, anyway, if you've been around, if you know, you know. But it has become code. Code for what? We're not sure. But yes, the famous pulled pork sandwich. Yes. Well, anyway, it looks like Jason is there to stay. It was said that Jason was going to work with the charity, which of course I think he took over the was it the Royal Trust or whatever they called it? And of course, he's helping them out with the Earthshot. Pretty much Jason Knopf is there all the time, and he has become a very trusted aide to William. He is a courtier, an unlikely courtier, all the way from Texas, here in the United States, Texas. But trust me when I say this, he's not just there to do for William, he is there to guide and shape and direct in ever so subtle a way. He's not just there because he's smart. He's there because he is quite the manipulator. He's a shapeshifter. And I believe he's capable of being anything to anybody at any given time. And if he is, I guess, a sign of things to come, oh my God, the reign of William the what number will he be? William the fourth, the fifth, or whatever. I don't look forward to it. They rehabilitated Jason's image like Camilla's, did they? Thank you, Legs. Did they? Well, I don't know. He still looks like a serpent in the garden to me. Yeah, he still looks like a serpent. He seems like some kind of beast from biblical times. Mm, mm, mm. I don't have the words. I think that when you don't see him, you don't worry so much. But the prominent position that he's in, that is a worry. He's in a very prominent position. That is literally William's right hand. And where he is not there, Christian Jones picks up. And of course, let us not forget that other weasel, the one that went over into government. And of course, Samantha the Panther. Samantha Cohen never really worked directly with William. She was sent over to monitor Harry and Meghan. I mean, it gives you a chill when you think of the people that surrounded them. When the day comes that gray men decide it's time to remove Jason, I'll put my feet with my with some snacks and rosé. Is it rose or rosé? I think it's Rose, right? Um, can they get rid of him? You know, what is his name? Is it Michael Forsythe? Was it Michael Forsythe? The one who started working for Charles when he was 19 years old, has no formal education, and has been a bit of a henchman for Charles. And Charles has sent him away on several occasions, but they never really go far. They always just, as soon as the headlines die down, they're back. They are back. Yeah, they always come back. Nolanthondo Niandeni, thank you so much for being here. Hmm. Well, wasn't what is his name? Um, Christian Jones. Wasn't he supposed to go and work like at a bank or someplace else? No, he went to work at one of the charities too, didn't he? It's a way to keep them on the payroll. Their titles may change, but their proximity to power does not. This is why I say, you guys, that institution is a very dangerous place. It is not a place where one can flourish, especially if you marry into the family. William will become king, but it is only going to reveal his true character. And that is what Michelle Obama said. She said, being in the White House doesn't change who you are. If anything, it reveals who you are. And once he gets the glitter hat, once William gets that ultimate role, the real William will be exposed to the world even more than he is now. And that's why he worries so much about Harry, because Harry knows who he is. And of course, Meghan had his number from day one. And that is a worry because, I mean, after all, Meghan, if nothing else, she knows how to express herself. She knows how to articulate exactly what she's looking at. Um, so they really had to get her up out of there ASAP. She's got to go. Could you imagine going to an institution whose goal is to abuse you and break you? Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing is that you look at Harry's character, you look at Harry, the person, and you can see that if you ever got that close to Harry, right? You know, especially someone like Meghan, who Harry totally digs, right? And she digs him. They love each other. And it's so obvious. Even their worst enemies rarely make the case that they're just putting on airs. They don't believe that either. They see them as a couple that is very tactile and in love. Even their enemies accept that. Well, I'm just speaking of the Royal Rhoda. They accept that. They will admit that. Now, of course, some of them like to say, oh, she's got him henpecked and all that kind of stuff like that. But whatever they decide to call it on occasion, fine. But it's what they have is what a lot of those people never had and never will and wish they had. So that's fine if they have their opinions. But I believe that they made promises to Harry that it's not going to be like Diana and that we are going to support you. And oh God, we love Meghan. She's brilliant. I'm pretty sure that he felt secure with the promises that were made for a clearly defined role within the family. The only problem is the only person who could guarantee them their position in the family got cancer and died. The queen was too weak to make anything work. Her decisions were not her own. Charles literally took over. People began to defer to Clarence House. There was a very bitter um, closure for the Queen's household. Some people retired or they were forced to retire. Some people were just let go, but they had to go. And Charles put people in place that answered to him. So the Queen could, declare this and declare that, but she had no voice. In the end, she had no voice. And they deferred to Charles. And that started, I'm going to say, at least a couple years before she passed. That started. And maybe it was when Philip died. Maybe it was when Philip died that she just, they're like, you know what? You're next, Granny. So you might as well ease on out the way. Meghan doesn't even give a speech before they've already written word salad. Whatever Meghan says, they're going to declare that it was word salad. Whatever Kamala Harris said, they declared it was word salad. Michelle Obama, word salad. Pretty much any Black woman that gives a speech, they declare that it's word salad. That is a foregone conclusion that it is word salad. They're not really interested in what was said. The main thing is to disparage, disrespect, dismantle, destroy. That is the purpose of anything they write, is that they're going to start off by tearing it down. It was incoherent, confusing. Isn't that what they said about the As Ever recently? That it was the very confusing choice of selling a wine. So far, I cannot think of anything that Meghan has sold that you couldn't find at one of those royal gift shops somewhere, save for maybe the flower sprinkles, and I think they'll probably get those soon. Yeah, I want to believe that they wanted the Sussexes to do the work, but their work was supposed to be with the Commonwealth, but that wouldn't have lasted long either, because there would be so much attention pulled away from the rest of the family that there was no way that Harry and Meghan could be allowed to draw so much attention away from the rest of the family. I think at first they wanted to try to stop the wedding. And then after that, it became okay, we have to drive her away. We have to get rid of her. And they put so much pressure on Meghan through the press and through whatever manipulation within the royal household. They wanted to get rid of her yesterday, but they were hoping that she would go. And as Harry said, they were very angry and outraged that he left with her. They tried to convince Harry through the media and probably through the palace. They tried to convince him that there was no world for him out there, that he could not make it out there. But one thing's for certain, he certainly couldn't stay. I don't think he would have survived for long if Meghan was not there. I don't think he would have survived. I think it would have been just like Margaret all over again. It's amazing that such a small, delicate woman, such as Meghan, she has truly gotten that over 1,000-year institution shook. They see God's light in her and are perplexed on how to deal with her. Yes, indeed. I don't see him going anywhere. I don't see him going anywhere. He may become one of those people that, like Charles said about Camilla. Camilla is non-negotiable, right? Whatever William's relationship is with Jason, it is going to be one of those non-negotiables. Michael Forsythe, non-negotiable. They would push Michael away in the headlines. They will find something else for him to do, but he always comes back. Well, Jason is named after a character from a slasher movie. Of course, he's going to always come back. Just when you think he's down, all of a sudden his foot twitch, his finger moves. And next thing you know, he's chasing you with some kind of weapon again. Just like in the movie. Well, we'll see. In time, we'll see. Oh, I almost forgot about this one. South Park history of dragging the royals. Even South Park had their opinions. This was probably one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen, but again, that was their opinion. Even South Park insinuated things that are difficult to discuss in mixed company. Who's to say that's not a thing already? I mean, Windsor Castle is very large. You know, one can maintain a place across town, and yet, oh, and by the way, you guys, just as a matter of fact, Jason is married. Jason is married. So we can't forget that. But it does not mean that he does not maintain a close relationship with the future king, whatever that relationship may be. Yeah, I believe that too. I believe it was definitely meant to be. Um, I believe that our Duchess was sent to rescue Harry from that life. Harry is doing some things that will definitely change the world. Both of them are, Harry and Meghan, and I do believe that their relationship is no accident. It certainly is not by chance. On the long game, yeah, and I suppose the long game part of that was to constantly criticize Meghan over and over and over again. I don't know why they thought that that would work. The only thing I could think of is that they've just assumed that Meghan would leave and that Harry would stay. They assumed that Meghan would leave and that Harry would stay. Remember how many times the Royal Rota would suggest that Harry stay, making no mention of Meghan or the children, because they don't want the children over there either. Um, they just want Harry. And overnight, I know you have to be trying to figure out how would that work after everything that's been said. How could Harry come back and have a life in the UK? Oh, they would make up something. They would definitely find a way. Um, they would probably try to give Meghan some type of financial settlement, and that they would be very comfortable in the US somewhere, and that Harry would be there to do all the work. Harry would be there to help control William, right? They would definitely instruct Harry, this is what you need to help with. We need to tell him such and such and so, and you're just the person to do it. Because remember, the only person who could really talk to him was Harry. And they were counting on Harry to help control him, right? But after everything that William has done, you see, before, I don't think Harry really noticed William. I don't think he noticed how unbalanced their relationship was, because it was just a matter of fact. You defer to William. You help William. You are the spare to William. That's who you are. And they drilled that into him until it became the only identity that he knew, was I'm supposed to help my brother. He didn't hesitate. He didn't doubt it. It was just a fact. And enters Meghan, who let him know that there was a world out there that you could be a part of without this family. You can have a life away from this hellhole. All you got to do is leave. Come with me. All you got to do is leave. But I don't even think she really had to convince him. By the time Harry noticed how different people appeared, remember he said that he noticed how his friends began to act very strange whenever Meghan's name came up, right? They became different people. I don't think they were so different. I just think he didn't notice it before. But eventually, he began to see the world through Meghan's eyes. He began to see exactly how twisted, how cruel, and dare I say, how racist people were, people in his own circle. He's had a great education. He has learned so much since their first date, a lot. And not just Meghan. Think about Doria. Surely Harry has noticed how people change when Doria's around. The way people look at Doria, respond to hearing her name. You can't miss it. The change in tone, the change in body language. See, it's one thing if you got Black people coming over for tea for some charity or whatever. It's a whole nother thing when they're in the family. Now we're all family. And that's when you know, the real faces were showing, their real character. You know, I um I wouldn't I wouldn't imagine that I wouldn't see divorce. They just did not want her there. They just want him back. They don't care whether they're married or not. When I say they would give her a settlement, I really should have said an allowance. I don't ever see them divorcing, by the way, but I think that they would want for her to have some kind of allowance and for her to be away with the kids and that Harry would go back and forth. They just don't want her there. Married, unmarried, they just do not want her there. They don't want her seeing who they really are. That's all. They don't mean for Meghan to be in the public eye where that family is concerned. They would easily accept Harry on the balcony married to Meghan so long as she's not there. They will accept that any way they could. They would accept that any way they could, married or unmarried. But they just do not want Meghan taking attention away from that institution. I believe they would prefer Harry to give up any commercial, anything. Like Charles said, um, she could still act if she wants to. I think they had that all planned, that she would go back to acting and stay out of their business. I believe they had it all planned that they would have a long distance relationship. And of course, they didn't want them to have any kids. They really didn't want them to have any kids. That's why they were saying, oh, you should have waited. You're rushing into it. They didn't want them to have any children. They would have accepted Meghan as a long term girlfriend or married, either way, so long as she wasn't over there, so long as she wasn't in their business. I think they would accept that. If Harry went to them tomorrow and said, you know what, I'll come back, but she's not, they would accept that. Let me say, I really hate Harry and Meghan. I'm sorry, what was that? They really hate Harry and Meghan because they didn't take the abuse. They let it is they right. They let people know that the British media lies, don't know anything. All those articles about Meghan using taxpayers' money, which wasn't even true. Yeah, and that was part of the plan to get her out of there, to drive her crazy and to get her out of there. I'm pretty sure they believe that the whole thing about the taxpayers' money, Doria's coming over here to live, they meant to drive her out of there. Married or not, they wanted her out of there. They wanted her to flee to the US. They couldn't envision that Harry would leave. I really do believe that there was no way that Harry would leave. They just could not envision that. I don't think it was very well thought out. Whatever plan they had, it was not well thought out. I think there were too many people doing too many things. They let the press have at them, right? And then all the little conspiring that was coming from Kensington Palace, leaking and briefing. And then, of course, um, Clarence House, leaking and briefing. I just believe that they wanted her to leave by any means necessary. Just go. But Harry stays. And maybe if the Queen, now hear me out, maybe if the Queen were still alive and still, able to have some say in how things work. Oh no, I'm sorry. I meant that the other way. Maybe if Harry and Meghan was still there and the Queen had died and Charles, you know, would have been holding on to the purse strings even tighter, he probably would have cut whatever money they were getting, at least reduce it. And they probably would have taken Meghan's patronages away from her. They probably would not allow her to do anything. After the Queen, I think they would have just taken all of her patronages away. She may have had like one or two charities, and that's it. I could see that. I could see that. But there was no way that they thought Harry would leave. And they really thought that they were going to come back, or that Harry would come back without Meghan. I guess we'll never know, right? We'll never know. Mm. Mm-mm. This is kind of a deep subject, isn't it? Part about Doria was right out of the Republican Party handbook. They did that to Michelle Obama's mother. Yeah, we discussed that many times. If you recall, we have discussed that many times where they were making this insinuation that somehow um, Michelle's mother was taking advantage of things and getting over, and then of course at election time, they had a it was all made up, of course, but they were doing fundraising, and that somehow they had released some information by whatever means saying that um, Michelle Obama's mother wanted money from the federal government. She wanted some kind of allowance or compensation for babysitting her grandchildren while they were in the White House. And people believed it. People believed it. People believed that, what was her name? Marion or whatever her name was. They believed that Michelle Obama's mother had the nerves to demand money from the federal government as some type of compensation, as though she was an employee of the first family. And people believe that. It was always this idea that the Obamas was abusing their privilege. Obama took too many vacations. How many vehicles do they need? They're always in Hawaii, and so on and so on and so on. And now we have a president that has had more working vacations than any president in history. Way more. The first family of the United States has cost more money than any first family in history, even if you adjust for inflation. They have cost the US taxpayers a hell of a lot of money. Because when they go and they stay at a Trump property, they inflate the cost of the hotel rooms. They bill the US government at an exorbitant rate. They inflate the cost. They did that the first time around, and I know they're doing it now. Let me see. Kate is the prime reason Meghan left. Call it for what it is: jealousy, racism, misogyny, and lust for Harry. But Keener has benefited the most. Yeah. Yep. Somehow they have taken a very shallow, insecure, and dare I say, not too bright person, and they have tried to elevate her to the status of some corporate CEO, like she's the vice president of happiness for the royal family. Let me see. I don't know how much Charles III had acquired influence and power. I contend that QE2 could have helped. She could have made Harry and Meghan kids, prince and princess, like she did with William, other two spares. She could have defended Meghan. Yeah, definitely. She should have given those children titles. She should have done that because she attempted to give titles to other members of the family that didn't necessarily deserve it. Yeah, I agree. That much should have happened. Let me see. They don't want any people of color in that vile family. They were hoping that Meghan would unalive herself. That's why they refused to get her any help. You know, that's very likely. That's very likely. They had practice with Diana. They had all the practice they needed with Diana. He looks horrible. He looks absolutely horrible, Marshar. And then, of course, that weirdness with his hand. Um, Yeah, he looks horrible. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. And plus, there's certain things that they want that they are not getting from him. There are certain things they want that they cannot trust him to do. And well, the other one, I'm pretty sure he'll do everything that he, you know, because he's not a self-made person. The vice president is not self-made. He has been bankrolled, and I do mean bankrolled a lot. So all politicians owe something to somebody. You take their money, you do their bidding, and that goes for all politicians. And some do more than others. Oh, SK say looks like Operation Rollout Queen JK. Is that JK Rowling? Rollout Queen JK is in full swing. Congratulations to the happy couple. Never seen the man look so relaxed and with unclenched jaw. Love is beautiful thing, I guess. Yeah, love is a beautiful thing. Well, if they're making reference to, wait a minute, where is it? Unclenched jaw. Where is it? That look of bliss, sublime, happiness, fulfillment. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that. All of the tension has gone out of his face. And look at there, the few hairs that he has are standing up. Mm. Oh. Okay, let me see what you're agreeing with. All that, let me see. All she had to do was give Meghan the Royal Victorian Order or the Royal Family Order. In that world, those things mean a lot. Meghan earned at least the Royal Victorian Order. Yeah. But don't you think there was a lot of pressure to not do those things? And what I mean by that is the way that Meghan was brought into the family. Meghan was put on a fast track in the family, Meghan being the first non-royal to spend Christmas at Sandringham, right? So she was put on the fast track. She was not married when they went to Sandringham. That doesn't happen. She went to an event at Westminster Abbey before they were married. That doesn't happen. What was it? Was it Commonwealth Day when she wore the white beret? That usually does not happen. And I would imagine that there were so many outside influences, whether it was Samantha the Panther, um, Angela Kelly, maybe even Princess Anne, someone to say, hey, already? Don't you think you're moving too fast? I mean, it usually takes a long time to get those honors. They don't just give them away immediately. And Meghan was there for 18 months. And I think that there was just probably a lot of pressure on someone who at some point was suffering from cancer, real cancer. So it would have been great if all of those things would have happened. But that is a lot of pressure to put on someone at such an advanced age. I mean, she's over 90 years old at this point. And as Harry said, when they were at the Sandringham Summit, not Meghan, of course, she wasn't welcome, that the Queen sat there quietly and stoically. At this point, she's fighting for her life. And there's no mechanism to deny her heir. And when it comes to the heir, you're stuck. Just like right now, William is abusing his father with all of this small r and when I get to be king, and there is nothing that Charles can do about it. There's nothing that Charles can take away from him. So I believe that that is definitely a factor. The heir is going to be the heir. And whether you do something now or later, a lot of it depends on the heir's opinion, especially for the Queen, who at a certain point was near death. She wants security for them, and they wouldn't do it. They just wouldn't do it. So if they wouldn't do that, imagine what else they wouldn't do. I don't suppose we'll ever know. It comes a point when you age out of the system and nobody listens to you, even if you are the Queen. It comes a point when nobody is going to listen to you. They're going to go with the next big thing. And karma, well, karma wasn't too far away, was she? Karma was there waiting for the next big thing. It's almost like karma said, your turn. And what happened? Now Charles has this headstrong child that is making his life hell. And there is nothing he can do about it. I mean, he could do something now, of course, but William's going to be king. Let me see. Nope, because other people in the family have married people of color and were erased. Rupert Murdoch is over 90. Yeah, but I don't think Rupert Murdoch runs the company anymore. Isn't one of the sons the very conservative right wing child? Isn't he pretty much doing everything? Ruth C., good morning to you too. Let me see. Look at the hair standing up. Yeah, that's because he's got butterflies in his stomach. Well, anyway, we are all entitled to our opinion, and everyone's opinion is respected. And my view, my opinion. Where have I heard that before? My view, my opinion. That's the way I see it. I think the Queen was ignored toward the end. I don't know when she reached that point when she didn't seem to have her say. I mean, she certainly was able to get Andrew into the memorial service for Philip. People didn't even think that he should have been there, and it seemed like she overruled everyone. So she was able to do that. Oh, okay. Hmm. All right. Be honest with you, I don't know much about Murdoch. Rupert gave the company to his son so as not to lose it through the lawsuit, but that old buzzard is still in control. Okay. All right. Well, let me see here. So, the Prince and Princess of Wales are the most influential in the land. They are the most influential in the land. They are so influential, they must be big because if you remember, they got booed. It wasn't just Kate that was booed. Also, William, he was on horseback. He was booed. Princess Anne, Prince Edward, Charles and Godzilla, and of course, um, what's his name? Tim Lawrence and that little dumpy broad. What's her name? Sophie. All of them were booed. Everybody that was in that little convoy was booed. All of them, even the kids, everybody was booed. Pretty much the royal family was booed that day. And you know what? Harry and Meghan were nowhere in sight. They were minding their business. Ruth C., thank you so much for the new membership. William and Kate were booed at the Boston Celtic game. The surprising reason Prince William was booed in South Africa. Prince William was booed by protesters in Ulster University in Belfast. So, in other words, they were booed and booed and booed. Because why? They're the most influential. See, there's Prince William was booed by the protesters at the Ulster University in Belfast. Prince William booed by pro-Palestine protesters. Yeah, that one's also Belfast. He was booed because he's the most influential in the land. Wembley Stadium, booed. Oh, that's the university again on the right side. Eamonn Holmes, he was booed. Eamonn Holmes faced chorus of boos as he accepts the accolades for GB News at the Trick Awards in his wheelchair. Well, you guys, I think I have a bit of an update. Check this out. War breaks out at GB News as furious staff plots to oust Eamonn Holmes. Insiders tell Katie Hind presenter is utterly despised by colleagues and reveals the moment he pushed them over the edge. So Eamonn is going to be dethroned soon, I think. They want him and his little rickety wheelchair, they want him out of there. They are sick of him. You hear me? Sick of him. They cannot get rid of him fast enough. Take your chair and your attitude and go. And take the chair you broke too. You know, the one you broke, take that with you too. But just go. We want you out of here. Can you believe it? They are picking on a man in a wheelchair. They are going after the guy in a wheelchair. What is this world coming to? The GB News is at war. They said that Eamonn Holmes was not qualified to accept that award. The problem is he only works a few days out of the week. There are people that have been there longer and work more hours. They said as Eamonn Holmes made his way up the stage in a grand ballroom at London's Grosvenor House Hotel to accept the gong on behalf of GB News Breakfast, boos from the audience filled the room. The heckling started the moment the host, Dan Walker, announced the show had won a television and radio industry club award. Oh, is that what trick means? Television Radio Industry Club. Okay. It didn't stop until Eamonn began his speech after struggling, that is, to maneuver his way up to the microphone in his wheelchair. This is so cruel. Sources close to the channel insist that the jeers were not directed at Eamonn himself, but at right-wing leaning GB News as a whole, which includes Eamonn, after it had seen off rivals at ITV and the BBC. Even if that is so, I'm told that even Eamonn's colleagues at the news channel were furious at him for taking the glory for the win. A win, not wind, but win. The rest of the breakfast team take umbrage to the fact that despite hosting the show only 3 days of the week, Stephen Dixon presents the other 4. It was only Eamonn who spoke. They didn't like the fact that Eamonn spoke for everyone else. I mean, they were on the stage. They could have just rolled him out the way. You know what I'm saying? He's on wheels. Just push him out the way. Or hold the microphone up in the air. He couldn't reach it. There had to be a way to seize that microphone. Unless he ran over their foot or something like that. I don't know how they could have You know what I'm saying? Did he run over their shoes or something? How could they let him seize the opportunity like that? That's their fault. There were ways to obstruct him. They could have just stood in front of him. They could have I don't know, they could have put a barrier in the way so he couldn't get to the microphone. Huh? Too much. Too much. But anyway, they're big mad at him because of that. And they felt as though he exceeded his authority by accepting that award. So I tell you, Eamonn Holmes just can't win. He's always in trouble with somebody for something. Let me see. Oh, look at that. Throughout everything, new girlfriend Katie Alexander, 22 years his junior, has kept his smile on Holmes' face. Let me tell you something. She didn't hit the jackpot, okay? You better make him happy. You better make him happy because look at it like this. He's probably got some money. He's either rich or he probably has a very hefty life insurance policy. So you best keep him smiling if you know what's good for you. He better be smiling. You better make him happy. You certainly don't want him to have second thoughts. You never will get married. Anyway, I think it's no accident. Well, it's hard to say no accident and speak of Eamonn Holmes at the same time. But he makes her happy. She makes him happy. Um, and whatever money he doesn't have in the bank, I'm sure he has a big life insurance policy. So I know people look at her and probably think, "Oh, look at that dumb blonde. She ain't that dumb. She know where she's supposed to be." So if you're in her position, you got to keep them smiling, whatever it takes. Now, one of the people that also qualified to speak was this young man right here. But I know why he didn't speak. And you know why he didn't speak either, don't you?
They're very wonky wheels on chairs that we've got here.
You know why he didn't speak. The reason he didn't speak, because the last time he spoke in front of Eamonn Holmes, all hell broke loose. Right?
And this is where, I think reform will do very well, as they did with the Scunthorpe Steelworks. So they came directly to say, that's an area government needs to step in. That's where nationalisation needs to come in.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, forget it. Fine. Just carry on.
And so, look, there's...
Buying a recliner chair can be...
Welcome back. Good to see you again. Especially good for me to see you again. I am still alive, yes. And they're very wonky wheels on chairs that we've got here.
And this is where, I think reform...
So that's why he didn't speak, because the last time he tried to speak in front of Eamonn Holmes, Eamonn Holmes literally threw himself onto the... So he probably has PTSD now. That poor kid probably has PTSD because of Eamonn's propensity to propel himself across the room, ricochet off the wall, and down on the floor. If I was him, I wouldn't want to speak either. Everybody probably understands that if Eamonn doesn't get an opportunity to speak, then all hell's going to break loose. He's going to literally throw himself across the room.
Will do very well, as they did with the Scunthorpe Steel.
Uh-oh.
And this is where, I think reform...
Oh, my phone is buffering. Come on, phone.
Will do very well, as they did with the Scunthorpe Steelworks. So they came directly to say, that's an area government needs to step in. That's where nationalisation needs to come in.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, forget it. Fine. Just carry on.
And so, look, there's...
Buying a
Oh my God, you guys, that just never gets old. Yes, he ricocheted like Sheriff Bing Bing Bing, Ricochet Rabbit. He ricocheted like Sheriff Bing Bing Bing, Ricochet Rabbit. So I think they were being charitable by allowing him to speak instead of someone else, because, Eamonn Holmes only got so many falls left. And then, of course, when it comes to Eamonn being booed at the at the award show, someone said, "Don't worry, Eamon. Nobody watches anyway." Someone else said, "Great news channel. Unfortunately, Holmes just does not fit in." And someone else said, "Trouble in paradise." And then, of course, no one watches this awful channel anyway. So why is it news? And that's followed by, "Just shut the whole crap station down. No one needs their ridiculous opinions." Followed by, "GB News is bearing," what is that? Is boring, bias, and owned by a billionaire trying to forward his own self-serving agenda. And lastly, "We do not know this program in Scotland, but I have heard it is for the intellectually challenged." uh, well. Look at there. Eamonn Holmes, there it is right there. He's in an awful lot of pain. Eamonn Holmes, 62, fractured shoulder from fall down the stairs, causing him to undergo another operation just weeks after spinal surgery. You really have to wonder. There are some people who injure themselves deliberately just so that they could go to the emergency room, or what do you guys call it? Go to surgery, emergency surgery, whatever, so that they can get treatments, if you know what I mean. There are some people that just want some type of treatment. I'm not saying that that's his case, but you always hear about stuff like that. And well, look at there. There's Eamon and Hoghead Piers Morgan. There's Eamon with his walking frame. We just call them walkers in the US, but I think in the UK you guys call them a walking frame. And relies on a walking frame amid his crippling health battle after it was revealed he's being consoled by blonde facialists following split from Ruth Langsford. Is that the one that's 22 years his junior? Or is that someone else? I tell you what, he must be very generous because he keeps a woman. He keeps a woman always. Oh, that's so pitiful. Look at him walking with that walking frame. Poor thing. It almost looked like his diaper needs to be. He's got a little diaper butt, doesn't he? He has what I call a diaper butt. Looks like he's wearing a diaper. And of course, there is a reason for all of this. The unexplained incident on GB News left viewers and presenters stunned when Eamonn Holmes toppled off his chair during a live broadcast, leading to gas from the studio. Charlie Rowley, that's the guy who was at a loss for words, the one who couldn't close his mouth, was visibly shocked by the fall, inquiring urgently if the presenter was all right. Despite the tumble, the broadcasting veteran assured everyone he was fine. Fine. Remember that? He said, fine. Fine. Go on. Fine. And encouraged Charlie to carry on. Although the concerned host struggled to continue as the event unfolded, the mishap occurred at 6:15 a.m. this morning and happened not long after Eamonn experienced a collapse at home that necessitated a rush to hospital. Although the camera was focused on Charlie during the incident, the sound of the loud crash signaled what had occurred with echoes of co-presenter Ellie Costello exclaiming, "Oh my gosh." Eamonn quickly regained his composure, telling his fellow broadcasters, "I'm fine, 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 fine. Carry on, carry on." But they appeared visibly shaken. Let me see. Yeah, he's visibly shaken. Definitely shaken. He went from this to this to this to this, and he just could not complete his words.
And this is where, I think reform will do very well, as they did with the Scunthorpe steelworks. So they came directly to say, that's an area the government needs to step in. That's where nationalisation needs to come in.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, forget it. Fine, fine, fine. Just carry on.
And so, look.
Oh man. I tell you what, I don't ask for much in this world, but Lord, thank you for allowing me to live long enough to see that, or at least to hear it. Thank you. It's the gift that just keeps giving. Oh my gosh. Okay, one more time for the road. One more for the road. Yeah, one more for the road. We got to have one more.
And this is where, I think reform will do very well, as they did with the Scunthorpe steelworks. So they came directly to say, that's an area government needs to step in. That's where nationalisation needs to come in.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, forget it. Fine, fine, fine. Just carry on.
And so, look, there's
I tell you, over at journalism school, whatever university, I bet you they don't prepare you for this. There is no part of the education or training from the television station where they say, listen, if your colleague bottoms up in the middle of the broadcast, try to maintain your composure. You are going to find yourself at a complete loss for words, but try to compose yourself, because trust me, they're fine. Fine, fine, fine. Carry on, carry on. Fine, fine, fine. No matter what it looks like. No matter what it looks like, they're fine. They're fine, fine, fine. Fine. Fine, fine. Woo, I tell you. Poor Eamonn. He doesn't get along with anybody, does he? An extended ad break took place just seconds later, allowing time for Eamonn to be tended to. And during that period, streams of concerned tweets appeared on X. One viewer wrote, "What just happened to Eamonn Holmes?" Big crashing sound, and then straight to adverts. Hope all okay. 6 minutes later, the mystery was solved as the break ended and Eamonn reappeared on screen, jokingly declaring, "I'm alive." He blamed the wonky wheels on his chair, saying, "They're very wonky wheels on the chairs I've got here. As a matter of fact, we don't really like the chairs here. It was a shock for me because I had failed 2 weeks ago in my bathroom. that hospitalized me, and that hit me right in the back. I bet you it hit you in the wallet too. Eamon added, that hit me again right in the back, really, really sore, really sore. A GB News representative said that everything was fine, 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 and that they would speak with Eamon following the show. Oh, man. Well, don't worry. He's fine, fine, fine. So, this is so childish, you guys. I did not, I'm not even going to share the article, but I was super curious. And this one I had to see exactly how childish it was. And it did not disappoint. How Harry and Meghan's friends can't resist the royals. When it comes to picking sides, some A-lister friends find it hard to stay loyal. Many of the Sussex's friends seem to be caught between two sides. Let me just dismantle this if I can. George and Amal Clooney. I don't know that they were ever close. I don't know that Meghan has ever met George Clooney or Amal before the wedding day. But for whatever reason, they were invited. Victoria and David Beckham. Please take a notice of the picture of David Beckham, Harry, and his brother. That photo is 10 years old. It is 10 years old. David Beckham, who has been auditioning for a knighthood for God knows how long, is always at royal functions. That means absolutely nothing. We don't know that Harry and David Beckham were ever friends. Katy Perry, Idris Elba. Again, I wouldn't necessarily say that they were close. These are people that are in social circles in the UK. At this luncheon, they're invited to. At this dinner, they're invited to. Royal Ascot, here they are. Whatever. Trooping the Colors, wherever. This concert, that show, there they are. I don't know that Meghan has known any of these people besides Misha Nunu. Besides Misha Nunu, who are these people to Meghan? Hugh Grosvenor, a childhood friend. So what? That doesn't mean that Harry would demand Hugh Grosvenor, one of the wealthiest men in Britain, a billionaire duchy that he inherited. I don't suppose he spends a lot of time in Montecito, but they make it sound like he received an invitation from the royal family and that he quickly ran to the palace to get away from Harry because it's silly. And then, of course, Thomas von Stravinsky, a childhood friend of Harry and his brother. So what? He lives in the UK. Harry lives in Montecito. There is no expectation that you're supposed to be close to Harry. Also, we don't know that he ever was all that close. Again, as princes of the realm, there's a lot of people that you're going to find in your circle that you're friendly with, that you call a friend. But close friend, I don't know. And lastly, Edward Enninful. Aside from Meghan guest editing the Vogue magazine, did they have much of a relationship before, would you expect them to have much of a relationship after? But for the fact that Meghan married into the royal family and became the Duchess of Sussex, became a patron of so many things over there, and was asked to appear on the Vogue magazine. And rather than appearing herself, she made the magazine about other people, right? Other women. I don't know that Meghan and Edward Innifel were ever close. None of this means anything. It is childish, just very childish reporting. It's immature. It's reaching. It's grasping for straws. Pointless. Just clickbait. How many of the Spencers are close to the palace? What? Not many. Yet they are close to Harry. You don't say. Maybe they were never close to the palace. Exactly. It just doesn't matter. Grown adult people marry. Grown adult people move away from home. Grown adult people make new friends. Grown adult people have friends that they met years ago and they become closer. That's all. And also, if you're wondering who is in the photo with one of the York sisters, that is Nisha Nunu. She was at the Royal Ascot. She ran into a member of the royal family. After she ran into one of the York sisters, she ran into Zara the Tongue Ring Tyndall and had a very jovial conversation with her because they're in the same social circles. But does that mean that she's the best of friends with this person or that person? No, it just means the royal family are in the VIP area. And just like everybody else, she spoke to them. She's known for her fashions. For all we know, that selfie may have been sent to Meghan. We don't know. We just don't know. But leave it to the Daily Mail, and they are going to make a mountain out of it. They're going to feed on it for days. All of this, of course, is for an audience of 4 or more, maybe a few more. But basically, it is for Charles and William, Camilla and Kate. Those are the ones they're really targeting with this report. It's enough to stroke their egos and make them feel more important. Yeah, exactly. It's so childish. It really is. It's so silly. And that a so-called journalist takes the time to meticulously research finding photos. Well, I'm sure that they didn't find the photos, but there were photos of everyone on that list. There was a photo of everyone. There was a photo that you see here with David Beckham. There's another photo with Posh and David with Camilla and Charles. There was a photo of Harry at his wedding. If I'm right, didn't Idris DJ the wedding? Well, anyway, Idris was DJing someplace, and Harry was leaning over talking to him. So that means Harry and Idris Elba are best of friends, and he had to make a choice between his friendship with Harry, his loyalty to Harry, and the royal family. He chose the royal family. So they showed a picture of him with Charles. Misha Nunu. There was this picture, and there was a picture with Zara. Again, she had to make a tough choice. My devotion to Meghan or these super cool, loving, happy-go-lucky royals that are not racist at all. I'm going to spend my time with the royals here. Hugh Grosvenor. I'm not even going to say anything else to that. There's a picture of Harry and his brother and Hugh from years ago. No recent photos. No recent photos of Edward Enninful. No recent photos of Thomas von Stravinsky. There's no recent photos of Harry with them or Meghan with them. So this means absolutely nothing. It's just enough to inflate the egos of the royal family. Crocs in Buckingham Palace? Say it isn't so. Well, that big, gigantic woman speaking to Charles is wearing Crocs. And of course, the tabloids are making a big deal out of it, that people are actually wearing Crocs to Buckingham Palace. If you pay for that palace, shouldn't you wear whatever the hell you want? You're paying for that palace, right? Then you wear what you want to wear. The taxpayers pay for it. You wear what you want to wear. The hell with the royal family. That's your palace. You paid for it. And then I don't know who this is, but she's she's wearing her Crocs too. Oh, thank you, Jeanette. Thank you so much for that. Also, this guy wore Crocs back in 2018. Except in 2018, instead of it being a federal case, they thought it was cute. Now it has turned into them being rude to King Charles. Now they've turned it into being disrespectful. You see right there? At the time, David Hockney is an icon. Yesterday, His Majesty, the King, praised artist David Hockney's beautiful chosen galoshes, or whatever they say there, at the annual luncheon, are a type of rubber boot that are slipped on over shoes to keep them from, galoshes, okay, from getting muddy or wet. He's wearing Crocs. He's not wearing galoshes. I don't know why they say galoshes, but anyway, I'm not sure whether Hockney was after fashion or functionality, but he nailed both. I hope this community can now appreciate my own green galoshes, especially when I rock them with my dinner suit. So again, a few years ago, that was a fun thing to do, to wear to wear those Crocs, right? I don't know why he said galoshes, but Crocs, they're Crocs. But if you look at the Daily Mail today, where is it? Where's the headline? Oh, no, that's not it. Oh, I guess I don't have the headline up there. But anyway, they said it was disrespectful that people wore those Crocs to the Buckingham Palace, which is silly. But that's the Daily Mail for you. One day they're praising it, just like, let's say you're a princess of the realm, the Duchess of Sussex, and you have a baby mama dance because your labor is overdue, right? The baby's overdue. And you dance the baby mama dance. Well, It's so horrible. The royal family refused to comment about it. It's so terrible that all over social media, most people praised the dance, but the royal rodents, the royal rota, they had nothing but contempt. Oh, they called Meghan everything in the book, right? And the royal family, they said nothing. But now, of course, because someone else danced, the baby mama dance in Buckingham Palace, now it's cute. We see you. We see you. Now it's fun and funny. It's clever. Let me see. Oh, men wearing Crocs equals cute and fun. Women wearing Crocs equals disrespectful. Well, Hazel, I got some news for you. That one there with the red on, that's no ordinary woman. That's no ordinary woman. That is a woman with many surprises. Yes, she's just not your typical woman. She's different. Yeah, she's different. She's the kind where you wait to see which bathroom she uses. That's the kind of woman she is. And when I saw that picture of her, I'm like, who the hell is that? And I looked it up and I'm like, oh, that's who that is. Okay. Yeah, it's some artist. I forget the name, but it's some artist. And she doesn't always look like that. Grayson Perry. That's who it is. Grayson Perry. Yeah, I was looking. I'm like, ooh, that's a big broad there. That broad is huge. Massive. Bodacious. It looked like she could bench press a Ford Pinto. Well, anyway, as they say, big girls don't cry. Don't cry. They don't cry. Big girls don't cry. Yes, big girls don't cry. Even Marie Claire has an article. I want you to see this photo that Marie Claire used of Prince Charles, King Charles. Take a look at the photo. I'm telling you, they told the story like it was a scandal. Uh-oh. Wait, that didn't come up. Let me see. They made it seem like it was a scandal. Wait till you see the photo. Okay, sorry. Coming up. See there? The article says palace guests turn up in Crocs, much to King Charles' amusement. But yet they used this photo. It doesn't look like he's laughing. It looks like he's pissed. Oh, well. Much to do about nothing. So check this out. Our fair lady, what does the other one say? Oh, I can't see the headline on that one. It's lovely to see you too, Kate. It's just Kate to see you again. We've got our princess back. Kate to have you back. Good God, who writes this? But check it out. Kate wasn't there I'm sorry, was she there in 2024? Yeah, there's 2024 there on the left side. Kate was there. The crowd, small. And if you look at 2025 on the right side, Kate was there, even smaller. The royal family is circling the drain. They are having a drink at the Last Chance Saloon, and they only have themselves to blame for it. That is embarrassing. And at the end of the day, they are being booed, not only by Republic, but by other people that just do not see the necessity in 2025 for a $500 million royal family, a £500 million royal family. They don't see the point of it. And with that, you guys, I am done. How in the world are we on here for 2.5 hours? I don't know how that happened. I looked about 5 minutes ago and it said that it was an hour and a half. Now it's 2.5 hours. How does that happen? Was it something I said? Oh, we are going to get this time down. I promise you. We're going to get this time down. Anyway, good night, y'all. Bad built, bleach blonde, bad built, butch body. Body butch. Butch body. Are you talking about that big giant one with the Crocs on? Yeah, I'm sure they watched it with the kids, maybe, right? Maybe they watched it with the kids. Well, you guys, I don't know what's going to happen in the future with that family. You know, with as far as the Sussexes are concerned, but time heals all wounds. I think. I hope. I pray, and I hope that things are not always so awful because that is Harry's family, and Harry definitely wants to share part of his upbringing, parts of his upbringing. He wants to share that with his family, with his children. And I hope there's some way that is safe, both mentally and physically safe for them to do that. I hope that there's some way that he can do that for his children. He's proud of his heritage. Harry's proud of his heritage. And he believes in all of the good things to do with his family, with his country, right? I mean, he's over here now, but home is home. Family is family. And I hope there's some way that they can make something work, something that's safe for everybody involved. Thank you again, Connie Balmer. You know, Connie Balmer, I have an accessory that is perfect for my gift. And I never thought I would get a chance to use it because it doesn't work on my other cups. But it will be a perfect fit for that one because it's made for that brand. So it's like the 4-compartment snack tray. And you can like balance it on your cup while you're watching your movies or whatever. So I already have an accessory that works for that cup that I had no use for, but now I do. Heather Stroud, thank you, Baron. Just listening was very helpful today. Meds can be really strong. I have just been napping for 2 hours and I appreciate my safe place. Oh, Heather Stroud, that is so, so, so nice of you to say that. I love that. Thank you very much. Yes, yes. Thank you. Cookies and cream. Everyone, please pray for the Sussexes, each other, and the world. Pray for all those who are sick, bereaved, or just need of prayer. Pray for Antonio and Lady Sussex. Yeah, that's right. Two of our Swatties have lost a parent recently. Two of them. Yes. Let me go over there and take a look. Thank you for reminding me. Let me go and take a look at her channel and see if I can find if there's anything there for us. Okay. I see Charles has put something there. I am going to, how do I share this? Okay. Okay, I'm getting the link for the post, and I'm going to put it over here for us. So if you have the time, or if you want to do it later, please go over to Lady Sussex channel and leave a comment on the post that was it George or Charles? I think it was Charles, right? Or George. Anyway, I think it was George. Yeah, leave a comment on that post. I'm going to pin it to the top of the chat. Aren't I? Wait a minute. How do I do that? Oh, I got to go over here and do it. Okay, that's the link up there at the top. And it will take you to the post for Lady Sussex. And you can kindly leave some comments over there. I see 6 people have already. Of course, Connie Balmer has. Lydia, Sussex Team Warrior. Let me see. Monica M1. And is that Fran Scarlett? Thank you all so much for that. Selma, I see Selma there. Oh boy, you guys, that news really took the wind out of me. I felt like something in my stomach. I really did. I felt something in my stomach, and it's all so fresh. So, oh man. Yeah, very fresh. You know, guys, I told you about, I don't know, maybe I haven't. The first time I went to Europe back in 1999, a friend of mine was doing a television show in Germany, believe it or not, was doing a television show. And I was like, oh, next time you go on the road, I said, please take me with you, please. I said, I'm not going to be no trouble. I'm going to have my own spending money, and I ain't going to be an ounce of trouble. And so her manager was trying to talk her out of bringing me along. Now, mind you, I had never been out the country before, at least not to Europe. I only been to like Mexico and Canada. And so she had promised me that I could go, and she meant for me to go. And he said, oh, that's going to affect your pay. And she said, I don't care. I promised him, so he's going. Well, my passport came in time, and off to Munich we went, right? Off to Munich. Oh my God, I love Germany. That's probably why I still love Germany so much. That was like my first time going that far from home. And it was amazing. And then we did like a day trip to Venice. And then back to Munich, and then we flew back home. And I never forgot that. I never forgot that. Well, today, she's recovering from a surgery, had a very serious surgery, and lots of infection. So they could not even close the wound because it's one of those wounds that they have to leave it open so that the infection can come out properly. But otherwise, she's doing great. And I promise you, ever since that trip that we went on, I have made sure that whenever she needed me, I would be there for her because I never forget a friend, ever. And really, she's more like family to me than a friend. I always tell people, that's my sister. That's my sister. And so she needed some help, but she did not ask me for any help, but I volunteered. And I will always do that because, um, you know, that's huge. Taking someone out the country, even if it is someone else's money, it still affected her pay. And so, standing on principle, I made a promise, and he's going. That gave me the wings I needed to fly that time. So, you just don't forget stuff like that. And that meant a lot to me. So, I, yeah, I just wanted her to know that, it's been times when she's had issues here, troubles there, and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, even if we haven't talked for a year, I always get the notion to pick up the phone. And I'm like, what? Yep, I always get that notion to pick up the phone. So we've had some, you know, tough times over the years. We had some great times over the years. But, like I said, that is my family. That's not just a friend, that's my family. So I'm glad that I could be helpful to her. Church Nelly. Hey, Church Nelly. Oh, yes, Hazel Jones. That I tell you, I mean, someone keeping a promise for you like that, I was very touched by that, and I will always, always, remember that. You know what I'm saying? I will always remember that, and I will always be there for her. And that's why I always say your family and your friends that are family. Because you can pick your friend, you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. Oh, you're getting ready for an infusion. Oh, you got to do that right now. Well, if you are getting sleepy, you want me to sing something to wake you up? I'll sing something. I will sing something. One of my high notes is like drinking a Red Bull, 2 Red Bulls. Don't make me sing, because I will sing. Oh, Heather Stroud, you're so sweet. But no, I can't sing anything right now. My voice is not in a good place. You know, usually I keep my Ricolas right next to me, but I would have to um, dig for it. Well, not even that because I got them all over the house. I got Ricolas every place where I spend time. I have a little box of Ricolas there, just not right here, right now. And I was digging. I'm like, where's my Ricolas? But I cleaned my desk off, and now I have to go and get it. I have them sitting up here next time, though. Okay, well, you guys, I hope we get something from the Sussexes tomorrow. Let me see. It's the 27th. The 1st, we're going to have our rosé. Oh, I hope I get that rosé. I hope I get it. I saw this charcuterie board that was shaped like the map of Illinois, and I wish I would have got it now. That was so unusual. I mean, shaped like the map of Illinois. Oh, really? Okay. All right. I'll surprise you one day with something. Ain't misbehaving, saving all of my love for you. Don't go out late. Let me see. I don't stay out late. I forgot the words. I'm home about 8. It's me and my radio. Ain't misbehaving. I'm saving my love for you. Like that corner in the corner. Don't go nowhere. What do I care? Your kisses are worth waiting for. I can see I have a fan. You know, I'm going to have to do another members only very soon. I was thinking about that the other day. Need to do a members only. That seems like it's perfect for the weekend, though. But we'll see. All right. Love you guys. I will see you next time. Don't forget to go over and sign or leave a word or prayer or something like that. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow or later today. Okay? Cheers.